Civic Type R, an Evo 6, an S3, Evo 8, which an E46 M3, another E46 M3, a flipping clapped out Focus, or a B7 RS4. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Now, if you haven't seen the video I created around about living with an Abarth, check that. Well, there should be a little video clip here. Have a look at it, and in that video you would have seen that midway through I did sit down and talk about how when I was going through my old computer I found an archive full of all sorts of photos, and within that archive I found photos of some of my old cars. So I thought in today's video it'd be a great opportunity to kind of share with you guys some of the old cars that I used to have. Right, so I'm going to go all the way back to my first ever car. It was a blood red coloured 106. It was literally a 1 litre 106. I'm not going to talk too much about that one, but it was great while it lasted. I lived my boy racer days in that car thinking that I was King Dingaling, racing everyone with a pulse. But I really started to get into my cars when I bought my next car, and that was my 106 GTI, which again, unfortunately, is so far back I don't have a photo of it. But it was a lovely 1.6 GTI, and those things are quick. And the next car I owned was the Civic Type R Premier Final Edition. I can't remember exact name, but it was one with the Recaro red seats. And that car was awesome. That car, I think, was fitted with a Canon Typhoon, and the second that thing hit VTEC, it was screaming all the way down the road. So I love that car. Really, really good car. Actually, some of my best days were in that car with me, my friends. We all had that similar level car. You had the Civic Type R, you had the Cupra Rs, the Astra Turbos, and we'd all go around, revving around, racing around, like we were pillocks basically. Flipping, I miss those days. They were good days. Next car after that was when I really kind of stepped up and jumped into what I call the big league at that time, and I went and purchased an Evo 6. It was running approximately 380 horsepower. It had a blueprinted turbo on it. We went and got it mapped. There's a couple of us, so we all had Evos. We had a Evo 6, Evo 8, Evo 8 MR, and a couple of other friends had Subarus, STIs, wagons, the lot. But taking the Evo 6 up to get mapped was pretty insane, and I wish I still had a video to show you. I don't. Then after a bit of time with the Evo and realising that it cost me an absolute fortune, I think I was putting 70 quid in that car, and it was lasting me a good 100 miles, if that. It literally was just guzzling fuel. So I ended up trading the car in and ended up with an S3. An S3 which was literally, I went from Japanese raw power with no luxury whatsoever and super dated interior to a German quality engineering built car with heated seats at the time, and it was amazing. The car was sick, and that was mapped to 270 horsepower, and it was quick, and that was a great car. I can't complain. I had Lamborghini Gallardo replica wheels on it. Coming to think of it, I've got a bit of a Lambo replica theme going on because I've got the brakes on my Abarth now. But anyway, back to the S3. So I had a 19-inch Lamborghini replica wheels on there, and they looked the nuts. The great thing about that car, as with the Evos, 4-wheel drive. You literally rev the car, dump the clutch, and it is gone. Then I realised that I missed Evos. So a friend of mine was selling his Evo 8, which was absolutely stunning. It was the Evo 8 FQ300 at the time, and he'd come with me to get his car mapped, and we pushed that car circa 400 by 400 horsepower, I believe it was, and this thing had everything. Literally, it had carbon front lip, AP racing brakes. It was an absolute machine, and probably one of the fastest cars I've ever driven to date. In terms of top speed, I'm not going to say how much I did because it was a stupid amount of speed, but it was absolutely insane. And if anyone hasn't been in an Evo, or you haven't been in a really souped up Jap car, just the raw power and the noise those things make are unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. So yeah, love the Evo. It was a stunning, like a purplish color, which I thought looked absolutely beautiful. The whole thing as a whole was just wow. It literally just wowed me. So then after that, after the Evo, I decided to go and buy an E46 M3. So this was now where I decided to go back to German, and I decided to get E46 M3. I traded my Evo 8. It was almost like a Part X again, found somebody who fancied an Evo and I wanted an M3. Traded it in, so he took my Evo and I took the M3. And the M3 was amazing. And what happened after that, I almost kind of flicked the domino and it started a knock-on effect with all my friends, because we all ended up with M3s one way or another. All the Jack cars got sold and everyone ended up buying M3s, and then there was 3 E46s and 2 E36s, and I think, you know, one of the E36s that was bought is still out there now, and they're great cars and they're appreciating like no tomorrow. So Chirag, hold on to that car. So that E46 M3, the Vert, it was awesome for the 3 days a year summer that we had, and I probably got a little video, a couple of clips actually, of that car. So I will show you now a couple of the things of me hooning around in the car back in the day. Apologies for the video quality, because this is literally about 5 years ago, but here they are. Watching those videos back just brings back so many memories, and how much fun we had back in the day. Funny story with that car is that car spent more of its time sideways than it did in a straight line. That thing was drifted absolutely everywhere, and it got to the point where I thought I was barely big bollocks. And because it was sideways everywhere, I grew all this confidence. I was like, yeah, I'm the drift king, and I ended up crashing it in a straight line. Yeah, it doesn't sound... How can you crash a car in a straight line? Well, it was literally driving up one of the roads. It must have been a bit of oil on the road, and I decided to hoon it in the wet. The back end slipped. It decided to point towards a wall, and I corrected it and just ploughed it straight into the curb. Ended up smashing the wishbones on the rear. I think I cracked the subframe. It was not fun. Luckily, my friend, he was able to fix the M3, and we just replaced the wishbone, and then we put it up for sale and it went. And I was so lucky that I didn't have to replace the diff or the subframe, because that would have cost about £8,000 just to do that. So I literally fixed it, sold it, and off it went. Then I had what I thought was I'm getting older, I need to buy a more sensible car for traveling moment. And so I decided to buy a 535D. In fact, before that, I bought a Audi TT with BBS RS reps. It was slammed to the floor again. Really, really nice car. Can't find the photos of that for some reason, and that's not that long ago, which is annoying. But that was a lovely car. Then after that, I thought, right, okay, do you know what? I'm now moving quite far out of London to come into work, and I'm doing a considerable amount of mileage. So then I decided to go and buy a 535 diesel, which was, in my own personal opinion, I know loads of people out there are going to love it, but it was so boring. It was quick in a straight line, but it was like a bloody boat when you were driving it around corners, and I absolutely hated it. Great comforts and all that kind of fun stuff, but I really didn't like it, and it was just too boring for me. So then I thought, hey, I need to go back to what I like. So I went and bought another E46 M3. This one was blue, on the other hand, with cream leather interior versus the black of the old. And it was SMG. And for those of you, if you're watching this and you're thinking of buying an M3, I've had both. I would always go for the manual. The SMG, you know, it's okay. It's a semi-automatic gearbox. Paddle clutch, but it's quite difficult to get used to because it's not your conventional auto. But more so, I just didn't like it, and also you had these horror stories, you know, the cog of doom on BMWs where the relays overheat and all this kind of rubbish. But yeah, so I got an issue with the SMG gearbox. I was slipping, missing fourth, and I thought, you know what, I cannot be bothered, and I got rid of the car. But the E46 M3, again, convertible, stunning car, great fun to drive. And I'd happily have another M3 one day. You know, I love those cars, and well, clearly because I've had two. Then after that, I ended up buying a flipping clapped out Focus. I've just spat everywhere. I bought a clapped out Focus. It was like a 1.8 four-door family saloon, not saloon, four-door family hatchback, and literally it was easy to drive. You know, it was one of those cars you didn't think twice about it. You just got in, you turned the car on, and you drove it, and it didn't really skip much of a beat. However, it was my street cred just hit the floor. It was at rock bottom, honestly. But I had that car for quite a while. I sat down and I was saving loads of money with that car, but literally, I was embarrassed to get in that car. You know, one of those moments where, you know, you walk out towards the car park with some of your work colleagues, and you're like, I'll see you later. Yeah, bye, see ya. And you're praying for them to disappear so you don't see yourself getting into this car, so they don't see you get into this car. So yeah, so that didn't last too long, and also I ended up with this coolant leak, and it got so bad to the point where I was putting in, God knows what, I was putting in a whole bottle of coolant every other day. So yeah, so then we scrapped that. I realised I needed another car, and I'd never had a V8. So I decided to go for a B7 RS4 4.2 V8 saloon. And what a car. It looks, for my opinion, it looks so aggressive with the wide arches. It's a great car, but this thing literally was just reminding me of my Evo days, because at this point in my life now, I'm driving back and forth to work, 30-mile round trip, and I do a Monday to Friday 9 till 5 job. So you can imagine back and forth trips on the M4 motorway in an RS4, not moving very far. Bit of a fail really, but for the times that I did get to move in that car, bloody hell, that was an amazing car. It was so quick, it looked absolutely stunning. And yeah, and that's pretty much where I'm at now. Then I sat down, and again, this time I put my proper smart hat on, and I thought, look, I need to save up for a house at some point. I cannot keep renting. So I sold the RS4 and I bought the Abarth 595, and here I am. So I'm trying to put some money away for a house while still having fun driving a car. The Abarth as a whole, you know, if you know, in the last video, living with an Abarth sums it up quite nicely. Nicely. But yeah, so I love that little car. It's a great little daily. It's great for, you know, a bit of fun. It's quick, you know. I've got some good plans for that car as well, so I'm excited to get bigger turbo on it as well. So but yeah, so that's pretty much a story of all of my cars, guys, and I really hope you've enjoyed the video, coming down memory lane with me and reliving all of these old cool cars that I used to have. And I miss some of them so much, but I'm so glad that I bought them back in the time when I was younger, and I was able to really enjoy driving it, because nowadays, particularly on the roads here in the UK, there's average speed everywhere. So, you know, back in the days of really being able to hoon and just ripping your car wherever you wanted to go, those days are pretty much done and dusted now. We're in the world of average speed. So yeah, so guys, if you've liked the video, please leave a like. Please share and subscribe for plenty more videos. Thank you.